All right, let's do this because we're talking about one of my favorite brands in the world, BMWs. And they're really at the top of their game when it comes to design, performance, and just overall quality. But if you know anything about me, you know that I love to buy cars that I'm not gonna lose money on. So I've come up with a list of BMWs that are a blast to drive, make all of the right noises, and there's even one on this list that James Bond approves of. Yeah, this list has a little bit of everything, and I can't wait to get into it with you. And if you love saving money, hit that subscribe button down there below, and you won't miss any future videos where I tell you all of my buying secrets. It's great to see you guys again. Let's go. If you look hard enough, the E36 M3 is still a hidden gem. Okay, who are we kidding? The secret is definitely out, but it still is an incredible value that is only gonna keep going up in value. Yeah, some may say it's too big, it's too soft, it's not special enough. But guess what? They are all wrong. It's the first straight 6 M3 that set the standard of what a modern M car actually should be. Not only is the chassis the perfect blend of racing technology combined with everyday usability, but they come in a bunch of different flavors. You can snag one in a coupe, a four-door sedan, and even convertible form. No matter what you choose, they are so much fun to drive. And by now you probably know I love me some E36 M3s because I've owned a few of them. My favorite being this 1 of 5 Astoral Blue on Modena convertible that I bought and eventually traded for my Porsche 911. And if you want to see how all that went down, well, you can click up here and check it out. Now, the M3 has great driving feel. It's actually really easy to work on, and it still has great styling, in my honest opinion. Though they do take a bit of work to keep on the road. So prepare to either get your hands dirty or pay quite a bit of dough to keep it maintained. No matter what though, the sound of the 240 horse inline 6 mated to a 5-speed manual is next level. Now, you can get one in an automatic, but let's be honest, the manual is the only way to go. And if you want to help us save the manuals, go snag one of these Ideal Tees, save the manuals up there before they're all gone. Now, I do have to be straight up with you because the 2nd gen M3 is the perfect blend of modern luxury and old school mechanical feel. It's just such a rewarding car to own and drive. Plus, having owned both E36 and E46 M3s, I believe hands down the E36 is a bettering handling car. Although, for styling, nothing quite beats my white competition package M3. But hey, that's another story for another day. Now, a lot of these cars have been ridden hard and put away wet. So that's actually helped keep the values low. And I see it as an opportunity before prices skyrocket. Looking at prices, you can pay as little as $5K all the way up to $150,000. Yeah, that's a lot of dinero. But right now that sweet spot is right around 10 grand. And here's a 98 sedan 5-speed, also known as the M345, that sold for $12,500, which I think is more than a fair price for a clean E36 M3. And I think it goes without saying that we have to thank all of the success of the 2nd generation M3 to the OG 3 Series M car. Yeah, we all remember this little BMW right here, and it's the one that started it all. It's got to die for throwback looks, a little 2.3 lightweight 16-valve 4-cylinder that loves to play in the revs, and it's so balanced that you can drive it at the limit and not be overwhelmed by the horsepower. It's easy to have a crush on the E30 M3 and me. Well, I mean, at least one. And fun fact, that motor is actually just a cut down version of this legendary BMW M1 straight 6 that revs to 9,000 RPMs. That was my best play on having my head spin. Now, I could talk about the 1st gen M3 all day, but they are expensive. You're looking at paying between $60K on the low end, all the way up to $150,000 for a tip-top M3. Even though I think that there's still room for them to go up in price, it's too rich for my blood. Or that's my muscle, but my blood in my muscle. So instead, the BMW to buy, which was actually my very first car, is the baby M3. Yep, the 1991 318IS that also has a 16-valve 4-cylinder power plant is 9/10 the fun of an M3, but only a fraction of the price. You guys know I got you, this is a hell of a deal. And what makes this car special is that it was only built for 1 year. And by BMW adding that S designation to the 318i really ups the level on this 3 Series, giving it stiffer springs and dampers, better anti-roll bars, discs all around, and a limited slip differential. Having owned one, I can attest that it just feels special when you jump inside. It's a lightweight, balanced, ultimate driving machine. Yeah, it's not that fast, but it will likely be reliable and a hell of a lot fun to drive. Now here's a nice example that just sold on Bring a Trailer for $14,500. So yes, they aren't quote unquote cheap, but I have a feeling the fact that it's only built for 1 year and they're amazing cars, that they're only gonna continue to go up in price. And if you wanna grab something just as cool but a little less rare, well, you can grab an E30 325IS. It's essentially the same car, but instead has the M20 in it, which is an inline-6 with roughly 170 horses. They were produced from 1987 all the way until 1991, but the one that you wanna get is an 89 or newer because they have the plastic bumpers. Trust me on that. And here's a Hellrot Red plastic bumper one that sold for just over 10K. Now, I have seen examples go for about half that, but I would be looking to spend around 10K for a nice example. Either way, you can't lose, and there is no doubt you'll be driving one of the coolest 3 Series coupes ever built. And there's a good chance that your investment is gonna go up in value, especially when you use the Ideal Car Strategies to buy it. And if you fancy a sedan, which I totally understand, and you want it to be large and in charge, but also hides a big old V8 under the hood, the E39 M5 is quite possibly the best 4-door sports car ever made. Yeah, I said it, and I mean it. What you're looking at is a Bavarian missile that will comfortably fit 5 adults and get over 26 miles to the gallon on the freeway. And when you want to push it, it handles like a car almost half its 2-ton mass. But what makes this thing special, like really special, is that power plant, baby. The S65 has 8 cylinders, 8 individual throttle bodies, 4.9 liters, and 394 horsepower at its disposal. And all this means it's ready to rip to its 7K redline. This is like a supercar engine in a German sedan. And the noise this thing makes, you guys, well, it's just straight up automotive bliss. And I bet that you and your neighbors could get used to that. Now, the best part is that they're pretty exclusive. They only made 10,000 of these for the North American market. And it's a rare bird, and one that's gonna continue to demand more De Niro. And the best part is that you could get any transmission that you wanted, as long as it was a manual. Here's one that just sold for 15K, which is roughly what you wanna pay for a pre-facelift M5. That is, unless you want something that's just as engaging, but easily one of the most oddball looking cars BMW has ever made. I say one of the most oddball cars because the winner is totally this BMW Z1 with those pop-up up and down doors. Okay, that is weird. Well, boys, the Z3M Coupe, affectionately known by enthusiasts around the world as the clown shoe, is the silly 2-door that BMW stole a bunch of parts from the E36 M3 and its stable partner, the M Roadster. And this parts bin special is something truly unique. See, the thing is, sometimes automakers create something really special, yet it takes people a long time to realize how special it actually is. Check this out. BMW engineers shoehorned a 3.2 liter dual overhead cam S52 from the E36 M3 into it to give this little wonder 240 horsepower. And since the hatchback has 2.7 times the torsion rigidity of a Roadster, this thing handles like it's on rails. Now, the holy grail of clown shoes is the 02 and 03s with the modified S54 engine from the E46 M3, which gave it a hefty jump in performance to 315 horsepower. Now, they only made 678 with that motor and 2,850 M Coupes overall. Let's see here. To put that into perspective, they imported 5,115 E30 M3 coupes into the USA. So regardless of what you think of the shooting brake styling, prices are gonna continue to inflate. When you're buying one, you wanna expect the prices to be at least in the high teens, like this Hellrot Red M Coupe that sold for $18,500. And then prices for the S54 models are gonna be at least double that. And guys, there's one investment quality BMW that was good enough for James Bond. In that hit flick, the world is not enough. And if that's not enough for you, then this was the flavor of the week for Steve Jobs. So let's just say this car is definitely good enough for your boy. And the car is a contemporary play on the absolutely stunning multi-million-dollar BMW 507. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The BMW Z8, or for us Americans, Z8. The Roadster combines sleek retro styling from the 1950s with a touch of modern performance. One of my absolute favorite parts about this Halo sports car from BMW is that they repurposed the E39 M5 drivetrain. Yep, they pulled the 4.9 liter V8 and the 6-speed manual out of the M5 to give this thing enough grunt to go 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds and sound absolutely amazing doing it. Plus, just look at this thing. I could stare at that for days. The collector car potential has pretty much been there since day one, but I still think that there's plenty of room for these Z8s to appreciate. And if they do follow in the footsteps of the now multi-million-dollar 507 it's based on, that would be a very good thing. You're looking at roughly $130,000 to get into a Z8 today, but I think that you could see these things more than doubling in the years to come. This car, and really every car on this list, makes you say, they don't make them like they used to. And I think that that's why this is the perfect opportunity to pick up any one of these before the prices become astronomical. So out of all these, which one is my ideal car? Easy, the Z8. In 20 years, these things haven't dipped below the $128,000 MSRP. And the fact that it has the S62 power plant from the E39 M5, that means that I could probably do most of the maintenance myself. I mean, a boy can dream, right? Not about the maintenance, but the car. But if I'm being realistic, my ideal car from this list, it's the clown shoe. I just feel like even the ones with the S52, given the low production numbers, will continue to appreciate in the coming years. Plus, since they made so few, you won't go to a car show and see a bunch of other ones. Like if you own an E36 M3, you're not gonna be the only one at the car show. So, which BMW from this list would you buy and own? Let us know down in the comments. Also, let me know which BMWs you think are going to continue to appreciate in value. And please take a look at our other ideal videos here. I'm sure there's something that you will love. And subscribe, hit the like button, and as always, keep living that ideal lifestyle. Which was actually my very first car, is the baby M3. And I totaled that after 6 months, but don't put that in there.